What's going on? I used to do videos like this a lot where I would talk about what's been going on and the plans and all that jazz. But lately, well, I guess I can say times have changed. So I'm gonna start here. Best way I can put it is, let's see where to start. Okay, so 4 years ago today, what is it, the 16th? I was in Thomas Jefferson Hospital in Center City, Philadelphia. I was just coming off of life support. On February the 6th of 2018, I had full respiratory failure. I had been sick the prior 4 years where I was hospitalized 60 plus times. Also during that time, I was going through a very heated custody battle that's still ongoing. I was in a coma until about, I don't remember the exact date, but it was like February the 25th, 6th, 27th, something like that. I woke up and I thought like I was dreaming, because let me tell you something, and this is a whole video within itself. The best way I can describe it is, while I was in the coma, I was in like this whole different world. I can't even, it's trippy. So when I feel it was when I became coherent in the hospital, I woke up, I was paralyzed, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, I just was cool wherever I was just at. So I'm going through like everything. Let me tell you something. Being paralyzed, and being in a coma for a month or nearly a month, it's bad business. You can't do nothing for yourself. Let's just say it like that. So the only thing I can move is like my head, but I had like a breathing tube in, and just like all this shit coming out of me, like tubes and, up my nose and down, and, I couldn't talk. So I'm not able to tell them everything that's going on and, like what was bothering me, what wasn't. Well, anyway, fast forward. The last day I was there in the ICU, when they were about to transfer me to getting to like just a regular room in the hospital, at the ICU, all the nurses came. Oh, I want to cry. Well, anyway, I'm not supposed to be here. My body was shutting down for quite some time. I was being told by doctors like, yo, whatever's going on in your life, you need to stop and take care of your health. But my daughter was in some serious trouble. Meanwhile, I got a disabled father that we're living in squalor in a 1-bedroom apartment. He don't got no foot. No, it just was a horrible situation. Oh, also fighting for my life because somebody decided to file false criminal charges against me. Horrible situation. Well, anyway, I'm at the hospital. I'm in, I'm home. Purchased a home outside of Philadelphia. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with Philly. I'm getting the hell out. Also at that time, I'll go into a little more detail because of everything that was going on with me. Had a significant amount of money being held up that I couldn't get access to because of false criminal charges. Me developing a mental illness, which I didn't, when you hear of, and I was diagnosed with a post-traumatic stress disorder, and I'm explaining a little bit. I'm gonna go into detail. I don't care. When I first heard about it, I thought like, you know, being ignorant. Like, you know, I wasn't in no wars or anything like that, or at least not like going over, you know, seas in the war, you know, in, you know, the military, but I was in the war. So what happened, and I'm going to say about 2014, 2015, I started isolating myself because I started dealing with what I felt was like, you know, oh shit, it's really true what they say about how like black men really be having it hard out here. Like I started experiencing it. Like, you know, I grew up in the hood and everything, but I'm talking about being a full-fledged 30-year-old man. Like, damn, somebody can just say anything about me. Y'all just believe it. Just, you know, no investigation, no nothing. So I started isolating myself from the world to the point where it was at one point in time, and this is pretty much how I built, like, you know, my boxing business and educated myself. One point in time, I spent the better part of 2 years only leaving the house at night. And then sometimes I would go to like press conferences and shit in the morning. But the problem with that was I was going to events, going from being just dealing with, you know, my pop, you know, very limited friends and family, isolated myself, cut myself off from the world, to now going to fucking Barclays Center, you know, with credentials on, and people like TstreeT, and I'm like, TstreeT, oh, hey, nice to meet you. And I'm like, shit. So, you know, me looking like a fucking weirdo, you know, people thinking I'm, you know, like, there's something wrong with him, like, you know? So I had to learn, you know, like how to deal with that. So I done skipped over a whole part of the story. Well, anyway, I was out of the hospital, miraculously. That's what I was told. You know, I was out of the hospital from being in a month-long coma. I was home and in physical therapy. What was it, like April the 1st, something like that? Because I was like, yo, I got to get my daughter, you know, I got to get back moving. They telling me, you know, I may have had a stroke. You know, I had to have like all kind of tests, you know, because they couldn't just release me without knowing like, yo, you just fucking died. Like, we barely brought you back. You know, I'm talking about they had to flush my entire body because they're pumping you. When you're laying there for God knows how long, you know, for a month or so, you're losing all this weight. I had lost about 90 or something pounds. You know, and then the only thing is in your body is what fluids they're giving you. And the life support I was on was a life support where people don't survive. It's like 1 in 4 or some shit like that. It's called ECMO, where, you know, that's how I got the scar on my neck. Basically, they attach tubes to your main arteries and it pumps out your body into a machine where the machine cleans your blood. This machine is acting as your heart and as your lungs. So as it's cleaning your blood, it's pumping it back into your other artery in your leg. You know, if you can get stabbed in your leg, you can die, that big one. So I got a similar scar right here. Now, the problem is I'm in a coma thinking that I'm alive, doing shit, fighting for my life. I thought that people was trying to kill me and everything. I probably was going to hell. God, I was not talking about that. So, you know, and I'm like basically grabbing at the shit, you know, great kid, you know, because I'm in my coma fighting and shit. So they had to paralyze me. But I couldn't like walk for like distances because like your legs, like they be jelly, like, you know, bones, everything brittle. Then you got something called neuropathy. You don't ever want to experience that. It's like pins and needles, you know, because your nerves are firing, right? So say, for example, all right, you're partially paralyzed and you know you're going to be able to walk again, but your legs are not moving. So the nerves are firing the signals, but the signals stop. They don't go all the way down to your legs. So your legs is like, shit, all day, all night. Don't want to remember that. Even now today, I still don't have feeling in the very, very tips of my toes. To where if I sleep, I can't have like the sheets on my toes. It's hard to explain. My feet got to be exposed. Because it's like this horrible, like this annoying tingling. So basically, if the feeling fully even still today hasn't come back 4 years later. So I'm going somewhere with this. that July, I'm on a walker, right? You know, catching the train, you know, because I couldn't drive. I couldn't regulate like with my feet, like, you know, pushing the pedal and all that. So I'm on the train going down there, still filing paperwork. Like, yo, you know, want to see my kid. What's going on? Because the day I went into a coma, I was preparing for my trial. My trial was on the 14th of February, 4 years ago, 2 days ago. The trial went on without me being present because I wasn't having too much contact with my mom or my family. So I was in the hospital in a coma for about 2, maybe 3 days before my mom or anybody even knew where I was. I was sitting here. My office was switched around a little bit. But anyway, I was sitting down here and I was like, something ain't right. Like all automatically, I just locked up. I was already in and out of hospital about 60 plus times at that point, you know, for like breathing issues. And I was warned that like, yo, one day, you know, your lungs are just not going to open up. So I was like, okay, something is wrong. I went upstairs. I was like, okay, you got to go to the hospital now. You got to go to the hospital now. So I barely make it upstairs, like one step at a time. This was dumb. And I say, let me get in the shower. And I'm trying my best to wash my ass because I know I'm going to be in the hospital for God knows how long. And then boom, I collapse. So I get up and I'm like, and I'm crawling like to my phone. And I call 911 and I'm like, you know, I can't talk because the air was just so thin. Like I couldn't talk. So she's like, okay, you know, don't close your eyes. Stay on the phone. Don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. Somehow I end up passing out and they're like putting fluids and everything in me. My pop somehow had threw the keys out the window. Oh, crap, we're going to take a break. I'm going to take a break. But I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere with this.
I know your kids see, but I don't even know where to start. Basically, I was in a coma for, I think it was, I forgot, nine days, and they didn't think I was going to wake up. Now, it's not what you think it is. I did have the flu and a bad sinus infection and an asthma attack. This was on February the 8th. On February the 10th, I was attacked by 4 assassins, not at the same time. So imagine you being as sick as I was and being attacked. I can't tell the full story, but long story short, my whole body was taken apart. I ended up winning, believe it or not. And I start rehab next week. I can't use my hands, so that's why I've been off social media. I can't even watch boxing because I don't even know how to use my phone or my tablet anymore. It's crazy. But once again, I go to rehab next week, or I start rehab next week. The story is much, much crazier. I did end up winning my daughter through all of this.
I can't watch that shit no more. I'm sorry, I can't watch that shit. But yeah, I thought like, you know, fucking assassins. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to say it because let me tell you the gist. There's a lot of legal litigation going on right now. And that's what I've pretty much been doing the last few months. It's just like, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I close this chapter in 2022. And then after that, don't spill the beans. So I can't go into details now, but also I do have the right to talk about it. But I'm trying to figure out how to say it. I'm winning. All the lies, everything, it's finally come like out. You see what I'm saying? And the city of Philadelphia, a certain organization, a certain party, are all right now in hot water. Because I didn't give up. I stuck with it. And now, you know, the clock is striking 12. You know, it couldn't keep going on for, you know, like, come on, we're going on a decade now, you know? And what happened was in 2020, like when the country shut down and all that, I was already a homebody and, you know, so I thrived in 2020 and 2021. You know, everything a 38-year-old man is supposed to have and more, I have. And also, I've always wanted to be in a situation where, you know, a man is supposed to be a provider. Period. That's just me, you know? So everything I've always wanted in life, I have. I even got a PS5. You know? So life has been really good and I want to get back to enjoying what I love. But I couldn't do it because I had a whole bunch of legal prep. I'm talking about documents after documents. And when I say I am lawyered up, like lawyered up, if there's a time, it's like, yo, don't fuck with him. This is not the time to fuck with me because I will sue the shit out of you. And that's pretty much what's going on. I'm not the type of person to be bullied by anyone. I don't give a fuck about what your job position is, how much money you have, you know, whatever, especially when I have the truth on my side. So now, until June, May or June, we haven't got the new hearing date. I got an 8-hour trial. But until then, I'm free because all the prep has been done. And then in July, people are going to start getting served with papers. So it took me a while, you know, to all the people who've helped me over the years, OJ, Kyle, Mikey, Rome, Donnell, Rob, who else? Tony, ain't forget about you. You know, even the people who I done, you know, forgot. Like, it's here now, the day of reckoning, basically. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you knew just how much money I had to kick out just in legal fees alone. Like, it's crazy. Just since September, approaching $10,000. Like, just on one little, like, whew. So now regarding boxing, I need a time slot. And because, you know, I spent the last few days, like, I had to come down. Like, you know, I did watch the Super Bowl, but the last 8 weeks has been, you know, but now I got all this free time and I work from home. So, you know, I got to cover some boxing. So I'm thinking Monday, Wednesdays, 6 p.m., hour-long stream. Unless we bring call-ins back, then it'll be 2 hours. But, you know, I don't want like a blabbling, you know, rambling on, you know, like content. I like it to be either half an hour or an hour. Now, if there's a significant press conference, something like Canelo, you know, in the daytime, or whoever, you know, a significant press conference like a Fury or Joshua, whoever, you know, we'll stream that, do commentary, talk about the fight, talk about the card. It's official now. You know, I have to start streaming during fights. But I don't want to be sitting up here for no 5 hours. Yes, you get that big jump in views and viewership because it's live, but then after, it dies off. So what I've been doing is I've been editing out doing my post-fight videos in that stream real time and then editing them into, you know, so I think we're going to continue that practice. But I think, you know, especially when there's no competing cards, that it's time for me to start doing my streams during the co-main and definitely the main event. And depending on the card, you know, if it's like a PBC on Fox where, you know, we got 4 fights on the pay-per-view, we know what those 4 fights are, you know, then maybe. But yeah, streaming during events, it's time. Also, I have created multiple platforms. You know, I am on Odyssey. I am on BitChute, for real, TstreeT Controversy. I am on Rumble, TstreeT Controversy. You know, I have a LinkedIn. I mean, a link tree, TstreeT Controversy. You know, like, so I've been, you know, reinforcing the infrastructure. And sometime in the next few weeks, I got to rebuild the website. You know, I've been telling Mikey I'm going to be doing that shit for a year. I also have other projects outside of boxing where I'm in deep research. I wish I could show you some of the books that I'm reading. I don't feel like picking them up, but deep research on father's rights advocacy. I'm trying to start a nonprofit. You know, I've learned a lot, but with my situation going on, I can't tell you how happy I am. I got to be honest with you. You know, I've accomplished something that people told me I wasn't going to be able to do. You always get a good feeling when you do something that people said you can't do, you know? And especially since my name has been cleared and, you know, I can't, like, so I get to walk the earth freely and, you know, enjoy my life, and, you know, people just be pissed. And at the end of the day, now it's like, you know, the chickens are coming home to roost. You know, you're going to reap what you sow, you know? So we have a lot of fights coming up. And once again, Monday, Wednesdays, you know, 6 p.m. stream for about an hour or so. Then Fridays, I think that unless it's a significant weigh-in, I want to do weigh-in recap streams at 8 p.m. because see what happens is you can recap all the weigh-ins for the day. For example, if it's a UK fight from my time, those weigh-ins start in about 45 minutes, you know, or those events, you know, the press conferences and the weigh-in, you know, 8 a.m. Eastern for something over in the UK, you know, and for an American fight, you know, between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. can be a weigh-in, so why not recap them all later on? And then during fight day, you know, incorporate an hour-long or so fight day stream, and then stream during the co-main and main of a card. And then Sunday, and then of course the post-fight press conferences, I'm always going to be doing those. That's the bread and butter. And then recap the card on Monday, because on Sundays, you know, I got a family and shit, you know, we got it, you know. So, and then I'd be tired from working all night. You see what I'm saying? And I did buy a lot of equipment in 2020 and 21. So what I got to do is I have a 4K camera. I have this Elgato gaming light. You know, I have, you know, new headsets. But the problem is it may look like I'm like technically sound and I'm a, you know, computer nerd. I am to an extent. But when it comes to like the jargon of, you know, BPS and whatever, this, I don't be knowing what none of that shit is. Bit rate, I be having to Google to make sure I know, like, all right, this is what you do. So that's why sometimes you'll see like changes in my picture quality and my microphone audio sound. So even though I may have the equipment, it still is a challenge for me, you know, to learn and have the time to be like, okay, let's sit down and adjust this shit. And I know this may look impressive to some of you because I built all of this. But, hey, it's hard to explain. So I'm just looking forward to getting back to content. And more importantly, I'm looking forward to telling everything I've learned over the last several years in the Philadelphia legal system, even all the dirt. When I say I learned some shit, Philadelphia, do not move to Philadelphia. I'm telling you right now, it may seem like it, unless you got to live there to work, move to the outskirts of Philly. You do not want to be in a big, I'm going to say a Democratic run city right now. Shit is fucked up. And when I say family court, when you look at Philadelphia right now, last year was the record in Philadelphia homicides and shootings and carjackings and pretty much every other worst crime you can imagine. It starts in the homes. And from what I've experienced from Philadelphia family court, they got a new school of judges down there, but you never know, man. Like these people be, I'm not going to say too much, but what I'm saying is they gotta overhaul some stuff because they add to the problem, and it's just I don't want to talk about it. It's going to get me, So I wish I could have gotten into everything I wanted to talk about. Basically, I haven't really had a chance to talk to you guys, so I figured I'd do this little video, let you know everything that's been going on. And today, as you can see, it's 7 a.m. We got the Con versus Brook media workout that's about to start, so I'm going to kick back, watch that, watch the gloves are off, do a video, and me and Big J got some videos to do. I got to update my website. So over the next few weeks, as I'm getting used to, because I said I don't have to do anything till June. I just did like the amount of legal work I just did in the last 8 weeks, and just the last year alone. It's just like I said, this is not the time to fuck with me. I will sue the shit out of you. I am handing out cease and desists and like candy. I had a little bit of shit with YouTube a few months back. I had to threaten to sue them again. It's just, it could be a little bit too much. So my brain is coming down from all the legal stuff and them trying to label me as the angry black man, just throwing they've been trying to throw everything at the wall, everything, just trying to make something stick. And I'm just, Teflon out here. So, but that's none of your concern. You just want to see some content. Yeah, let me go make me some breakfast. I'm going to get out here and start covering some boxing. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be streaming this weekend. Also down below in the description box is some links to the WBC app powered by the Vive network. I put some short links for Roku, Android, Apple. All you got to do is click and goes right to your phone. And I've been saying it for some time since I've joined them, but I'm working on some exclusive content. I guess if I told you, if I'm saying it for all these months and everything I've said in this video, I can tell you what I'm doing. The WBC channel is going to help me get exclusive access to fighters. So I'm working on an interview format. You see what I'm saying? Where it'll be on, you'll have to download the app and watch the interviews I'm going to do on the app. And then after a certain time, maybe a week or two, I'll release it on the channel, something like that. We'll figure it out. But now I have the time, I can start putting more on my plate. I just didn't have, I couldn't, just couldn't keep putting more on my plate. We've reached out to George Camboso's team several times, but never got a response back. So, I did kind of stiff him once, but we'll talk about that. TstreeT Controversy with 5U360 and WBC channel powered by the Vive network. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. All links to my social media right down below in the description box. Thanks for watching.